Hey guys, Marsengin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to take a look at the physical Kid Goku from the Path to Power movie, just released on Global at 55%. So, I'm using the Goku family support memory. I've put together this team. One thing, like, obviously if you guys watched my summon video, I did not pull any copies of Android 8. I did a few extra multis. I did a couple at the end of the stream after I'd done the summons, because we went off and did the Dokkan event to awaken Goku. I did the Youth Super Battle Road, did no item run on the first attempt and completely forgot to record it, so it's on the stream, but I'm going to have to get the clip from the VOD to actually upload it later on. But then at the end I did a couple of multis, and then I did a couple more after the stream as well. And I still haven't pulled a single copy of Android 8. Honestly, it's just not worth chasing banner units. And it is a shame, because when I was putting his team together, you definitely notice the lack of that Hachan, because he's like a go-to slot 1 unit for this team. So I do have him on my JP, so I will do a showcase video for him probably tomorrow, maybe try him out against one of the more difficult bosses. But obviously he is Rainbow, so I won't be able to do a 55% showcase. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to chase a side banner unit. I literally got Kid Goku off the tickets and then have spent like 700 stones on the banner without pulling Android 8. So I'm not going to do any more than that. So the good thing about Goku's leader skill is because he includes Exploding Rage in his lead, because he leads DB Saga, Youth, and then Exploding Rage, and then the 30% is to Dragon Ball Seekers or Bond of Friendship. So on the surface it seems kind of limited to, you know, if you want to build a team that has the most units getting the 200% leader skill, it seems like you're going to be quite limited to Dragon Ball Saga or Youth characters. But then you have to remember that Bond of Friendship incorporates almost every single Goku. Therefore, it means the Carnival Goku is on his 200% team because he's on Exploding Rage. We also have this guy here, because, I mean, he's just a youth character, right? But this Gohan is really good for the team. He doesn't get the full 200% leader skill, but he will still be very, very good. So the thing is, by missing out on Hachan, there's not a lot of really great slot 1 options. So I guess the goal is going to be to try and build up that Kid Gohan as quickly as possible, so that we can actually use him as a slot 1 tank. So Goku greatly raises his attack for 1 turn, does immense damage on his super, and then he has 2 unit supers, one with a Yamcha, Roshi, Oolong, or Bulma, and that basically just gives him massively raises attack for 1 turn. And then he has the same effect with a Hachan, which obviously we don't have on the team. He does create his own orbs. He provides DB Saga or Youth characters with 50% support, which is actually very good, like, for this team, because we're basically only running the Carnival Goku is the only non-Youth character. Well, actually no, do you count as DB Saga? Yeah, so basically Carnival Goku is the only unit on the team that's not getting the support from this guy, which is good. And then, of course, he creates Rainbow Orbs. He gets attack and defense 20% per orb, as well as extra damage reduction per Rainbow Orb, which is pretty good. And then if we pick up 3 orbs, he gets a defensive buff of 59%. 5 orbs, he launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. And then 7 orbs, all allies' chance of performing a crit 8% and damage reduction 8%. And that is the big one. That is like the main reason why everybody wants to get him, essentially, because it means we can go into a whole bunch of other team builds, not just his own, and he's going to be providing that damage reduction to the entire rotation. And whilst 8% might not seem like a lot, when you take units that have really high raw defense, or maybe even already have some damage reduction of their own, putting that extra 8% on top of that is then going to be really good. Now, unfortunately, Grandpa Gohan eating the super straight away. Grandpa Gohan, if you have a Kid Goku on the rotation, is a 40% support unit. So of the Super Strike revamp units, he definitely seems like he has a place, right? Because on this team, if you're going to run Kid Goku's team, you're most likely going to be running him on main rotation, right? I don't think I would run this team with the double Kid Goku leads and float the Kid Gokus. So that means if we do eventually float Grandpa Gohan, which I probably will on the next turn depending on the rotation, he's always going to be coming into slot 3 on a turn where there is a Kid Goku. So he's definitely going to be looking pretty good. So I need you to get stacks like early on, really. So I'm going to put you in slot 1. Could be a little bit dangerous against a tech enemy, but we've got 260k defense because, again, that's in part due to Goku supporting youth units. And then if we pick up the 7 orbs, we get the 8% damage reduction. So yeah, it still takes damage from a normal at this point. I guess the one downside to running this Kid Gohan on this team is the fact that he is only getting the 170. But, I mean, we got a double super, so it was definitely worth playing out the turn like this, right? Because this Gohan now has the 2 stacks, and then in comes Goku. So 5.3. This is my one. The 50, I think the friend one has 1 dupe. So this is my one, 55%. Still pretty solid attack stat considering the utility that he's providing to the team. So I do quite like that. I can probably just go ahead and put you in slot 1 again, right? Yeah, 245k defense. The Kid Goku has 243. So that is definitely very good. Can I get 7 orbs on this turn? If I do this, it's going to shift the orbs a little bit. Let's see if that helps me out. It does. Perfect, perfect. Because that's always what we're going to want to try and do, right? We want to try and get 7 orbs every single turn. Because that damage reduction is just going to be super useful. And this Grandpa Gohan, I actually am, like, genuinely impressed with how good he is on this team. He's obviously not, like, a super top-tier unit. But, like, it's nice that those Super Strike revamps, like, some of them are actually decent enough to run on some of these teams. Now, obviously, we're probably not going to take him on the team if we're doing, like, Red Zone Broly, for example. But, you know, he can hold his own reasonably well enough, so I think that that is pretty good for this team. Like, him being a 40% support unit, he raises defense on Super, like, he's just pretty solid overall. And then this Gohan from the Worldwide Download Celebration I haven't used for a while, but he has a built-in dodge, he's obviously on Youth, and is on Bond of Friendship, so he gets the full leader skill buff for the team. So he's definitely in a pretty good spot on this team. So let's do this. That should hopefully open up the orb field a little bit. Yep, there we go. Look at that. I'm getting so much luckier. I did a rainbow showcase of Kid Goku on my JP like before the banner came out, just as kind of like a preview, right, for global players. And in that video, I'm sure there were quite a few turns where, due to either just, you know, misplaying on my part with picking up the right orbs to make them drop down or whatever, or, you know, just the actual orb field on the rotation not being particularly kind to me, there were quite a few turns where I think I missed out on the 7 orbs, whereas now we are getting a bit more luck. So this is actually a very good rotation. With the support, should we just go ahead and use the active skill here? So this is the friend. Again, they have 1 dupe. The active skill is the Angry Kamehameha. Can be activated after you receive 8 or more attacks, or when your HP is 59% or less. The HP restriction has no turn restriction, so you can use that straight away if you drop below 59% HP, which is pretty good. And we get 800% attack raised temporarily, does damage to the enemy, and within the turn activated, attacks have a 59% chance to become a crit. So that includes the active skill as well. Let me make sure the skip is turned off. And then let's go ahead and watch this. I know people are not a huge fan of the English active skill, but let's go ahead and fire this off here. It is a shame that it doesn't have the proper like spin that the movie version does, which is what I know people were really hoping to see out of the unit. But I mean, it still looks pretty cool. And when it comes to the active skill and the English dub, I like the English dub for most of the active skills in the game, but I don't really like the dub voice that they give to like Kid Goku and like the younger Gohan and Goten a lot of the time. But I mean, for me personally, it's not a huge issue because I play the game without the sound most of the time. Like, even now when I'm recording, you guys can obviously see I'm not like wearing a headset or anything, so I can't hear any of the game sound. And I do a lot of my grinding up new units or link leveling and stuff like that while I'm at work, so I don't play with the sound on, because, you know, even though I am allowed to have my phone and use my phone at work, I'm not going to be sat there playing like a game out loud. So for me, for the large majority, I don't listen to the game sound. So I have obviously heard the English active skill from the official Twitter post, and it is it's not great. Let's put it that way, shall we? So what is your defense here? You're up to basically 500k. We probably can, as long as we can get the 7 orbs, I would say we can get away with putting him in slot 1. Now, if I do this, we should get... Oh, okay, I was hoping we'd connect all the way up to the top. So we're only able to get 6 orbs here. So this is a little bit unfortunate because we are missing out on the damage reduction. But as long as we don't eat a super in slot 1, we should be good. Okay, so we get that attack buff. I mean, honestly, the fact that we're on a 170 lead for the Kid Gohan, I still think he can be very useful on a lot of the teams that he's on. Stacking that defense is pretty good. And then we're consistently hitting a 5.3. I just realized, of course, that with this particular team build that I brought, we don't actually have any units that activate his unit super attack. But they gave us a free-to-play Yamcha, which I still need to farm up, because obviously I'm pretty much recording this video. I came home from a night shift, did the summon stream, farmed up the medals to awaken Goku, and now here we are recording the 55% showcase. So obviously one of the next things on my to-do list is to farm up the free-to-play Yamcha, and so then he will be a pretty solid addition to the team, because he is actually reasonably good for a free-to-play unit. So it'll be interesting to see how well he performs on the team once we've actually got him Rainbow. But I'll farm him up tonight, throw him on the link level team. Obviously I haven't started link leveling Kid Goku. I didn't actually show his links at the beginning of the video, but he is full link level 1. Like, this is him freshly awakened and being taken into this event. So obviously going to start link leveling the new units tonight. I did really want to pull Android 8, but I think after doing a bunch of extra summons and still not getting him, I just think it's not a great idea. Because the thing is, if I was chasing copies of Android 8 and I pulled like a couple of extra Gokus along the way or something, then obviously it wouldn't be as bad. But it's the fact that I am pulling like basically nothing. I've pulled like, I think I've pulled Turles like 4 times on this banner, and I don't need any copies of him. I didn't right from the start. And I think I needed 1 more copy to Rainbow Videl, and I've pulled her like 3 times. So yeah, apart from, I got Kid Goku on the tickets. So the thing is, if this was a banner where the side banner unit wasn't even really that good, or wasn't really like a huge benefit to the team, I could have literally just stopped summoning after using the tickets. So all the stones that I've spent off the banner so far, I've basically all been in service of trying to pull Hachan without any luck, which is very unfortunate. But we don't know for sure what's going to be coming later on in the month in terms of like a part 2 of this celebration. But I am fairly confident that it's going to be the STR Carnival Goku, right? Because they mentioned in an update a little while ago that we were going to finally be able to exchange the extra units that we have got the carnival coins with for in February. So you would assume then that a logical reason for that is that we're going to get a carnival banner in February. And based on the timings of the releases and where things normally fit into the schedule, on JP, Kid Goku and Bardock, neither of them had a part 2 celebration. So with the way the timing is probably going to work out, this is the start of the Kid Goku celebration. We can get the STR Carnival LR Goku as the part 2. Then we get the Bardock celebration towards the end of February. And then we go into Saiyan Day because Bardock doesn't have a part 2 for his celebration. So I think we are going to see the STR Carnival Goku very, very soon. Now, we've gotten a couple of extra supers off here. We did not get enough orbs to get the damage reduction. We got the 5s, we could get the extra attack here. And then I was about to say, so the worst thing that could happen is if we eat a super. Yeah, 738k. Now, the thing is, with 8% damage reduction, that's not going to be enough. So, I think it's not necessarily the worst like reflection on Kid Goku, because for a 55% unit, he's going to die to a type disadvantage super from a red zone boss. I feel like that's kind of to be expected. But I mean, he's definitely putting out some good numbers attack-wise. He's supporting the Youth and Dragon Ball Saga allies, which can be very powerful. Like, you can make... There were certain units I just didn't want to bring because they're not super cohesive with Goku. But you could, in theory, run him as the double leads and just float him. And then run some of the units like the various Go-Tanksters and stuff like that. And then you're going to basically be able to build a very powerful youth team that has Goku as a floating support unit, who's not only providing that support to youth category allies, but also has the damage reduction if you pick up enough orbs. So I think Goku is pretty good. Let me know what you guys think down below. Obviously, for a 55% unit, he's not going to be crazy. I know we have seen units in the past that even at 55% are just absolutely insane. Although a lot of the time, those are like Dokkan Fest LRs rather than just TURs. But it'll be interesting to see how well this guy's going to do. I've got a bunch of other things I want to do with him, using him on other teams. So at least I managed to get the one copy of him. And like I said, I'll do a Hachan showcase from my JP account. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.